if logging to CloudWatch is so expensive, what can I do instead? Uh, and I don't even remember which client this came from because seriously, every client asks
Every
this.
single one, yeah.
Um, yeah, I will give my very curt answer. It depends.
Yeah, it really does. I mean,
Uh,
in some cases you don't have a choice, right? I mean, like if you're using Lambda, your logs go to CloudWatch and you don't have a say in that. Um, and honestly, like in those cases, the only thing you can really do is be a little bit more parsimonious in what you log. For other stuff, it depends, right? I mean, and there are 1,000 ways of doing this that are not CloudWatch, all of which can require various amounts of effort on your part, and it really depends on what you've got. Um, I mean, maybe we should run through what a couple of those, what a couple of solutions that we've seen work
yeah.
are.
Although before we do that, the more cynical take that I have is that the Lambda team is probably incentive, or the CloudWatch team is probably incentivized on usage of their service,
Right.
and Lambda not wanting to build other uh, log destinations defaulted to CloudWatch. It seems to me there's a vested interest in that still being there, particularly because customer gets billed for it. Everyone
Right.
wins except the
Yeah.
customer.
Well, right. Although, I mean, it is worth saying, right? When we talk about some of these alternatives, there's a reason why CloudWatch is as expensive as it is, right? And that's that you can pump umpteen log events a second into this thing and it won't bat an eye.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas, like building that, if anyone's ever had to building that yourself is a nightmare.
Oh God,
It
yeah,
and so like in some cases, we recommend to clients like, hey, I know this looks expensive, making your own is going to be more expensive, so don't, right? But that's not always true, right? um so yeah, I mean, I think that, like, I hope that what we see going forward is that there's a little bit more optionality there, right? Because it kind of discourages some people from going into Lambda more aggressively, where they go, well, yeah, this looks cheaper in terms of the actual, like, compute side of things, but like, look at how much this logging is costing me.
yeah. Why don't you run through some of the options that we've been recommending to our clients?
Sure. So I mean, honestly, like oldies but goodies, right? If you're in EC2 and you're logging stuff, and you're running stuff inside of EC2 instances, honestly, like, you could just take your logs, set up something on those instances, and have the log roller just every time a new backup on that log roll comes out, push that into S3 and leave it there, right? More often than not, I mean, I think, again, this kind of depends on what you're using the log data for, right? There's sort of the operational use case and the archival use case. The archival use case is like if anybody, like, I don't know, hacks into us or something like that, then we have logs that we can look at. Or, if there's an incident and we want to figure out what happened after the fact, then that's one thing. On the other hand, the operational use case, like, you don't want that stuff sitting in S3 if somebody needs to be paged if a particular log message comes out, right? The there are, of course, a host of other ways of doing this. Like, rsyslog is a thing, fluentd is a thing. Um, there's also, like, if you've got Datadog running in your organization and you have that operational logging use case, just write it to Datadog. I mean, you're already paying a king's ransom for that service anyway. You might as well use it. Um, and I think it really, again, it depends on kind of what side of that continuum you're falling on, whether you've got the operational use case primarily or the archival use case primarily. And if you've got the archival use case, dump it in S3, let it tear down to Glacier, and if you need it, you can get it, but you might need it, what, 2, 3 times a year? So yeah, those are some things that in the past that we've in the recent past, in fact, that we've recommended to clients.
Yeah, something that I often recommend is I see a lot of clients um, wanting to ship logs from, say, like EC2 instances to CloudWatch because there's a whole bunch of other stuff that's already going there that they don't have a lot of control over. So why not do
Right.
more of it? Um, and that, of course, just increases the CloudWatch cost. And doesn't really add a lot of value because the CloudWatch itself it's fine. Like
Yeah,
it's
it's
not a
fine.
great product, but like it's fine.
It does what it needs to. The easy things are easy. The hard things are
Right.
sometimes impossible, but the easy things are easy.
Yeah, but for things compared to like well god, like any any elk stack is going to
Right.
be leagues better than what
Oh God.
CloudWatch logs provide to you.
Absolutely.
Uh so yeah, like I
But I mean, then
generally just
again,
I generally just recommend if you're shipping logs from hosts of any kind, you have control over your destination. That destination should not be CloudWatch.
yeah, for sure.
Particularly if what you're actually trying to do is use CloudWatch as an intermediary to long-term storage.
This is actually something that we've seen more than once where people are not only using CloudWatch as an intermediary to long-term storage, but they're using it as kind of the nexus through which all operational data passes, right? Where it goes to storage or it goes to Datadog or it goes to like I've even seen things like feeding various like runtime systems off of CloudWatch data and like having CloudWatch alarms trigger things, which like at low scale, at like a kind of low frequency, sure, it's fine, right? At higher frequency, though, it's like, oh, that's really, really expensive.
Yeah. Yeah. Really recommend not going that route.
Yes, please.